Hello my friend, how are you today? I am Protulia Xeta-Llouns and this is Mexican Allies on the 7th day of the Trezene movement. Today is 7 house, Chicome, Calli. And on the Trezene movement, it's a little bit interesting, this combination, because Calli, the house, it was a very condemned sign. It was not very auspicious. If you were born in a Trezene Calli, you were predestined to be a little bit lazy and excessive. Because this is what happens when you finally have your home and you are there. Well, why would you want to make a bigger effort if you already are where you want to, and in the place that you want to live is like you are already there, you arrived. So you no longer fight for anything anymore. So it's overindulgent, the house. However, there must be a reason why the house is exactly in the middle of the Trezene movement. Is the axis of the Trezene. The 7th day is the day of harvest, is the day where you pick all the fruits that you planted on the first day of the Trezene. So what did we plant it on the first day? Did you plant anything? So today you get the knowledge of what is really making you stay still. Perhaps it's your house. A house can be a place so wonderful if you treat the house as an enterprise and you develop your house and all the advantages you have in a house. Because on a one way it could be overindulgent if you just lay there being just happy and content and just settling for whatever you have. But if you have a plan for your house and you really go for it, it could become a heart that is beating. Remember, movement is the ball in the game. The ball is your heart. And if it's beating and it's bouncing, it's alive. When you live in a house and you just build just for building, your heart is narrow, because it's like moving in circles. As you start doing this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and eventually you will fall on the ground because you're gonna get dizzy and you're gonna get sick. But if you move in an ascendant spiral that is wide, it will be like climbing a mountain surrounding it. You are going to enjoy the scenery, and when you least expect it, you will be on top. And you will have a different view. So the two sponsors of the Trezene, the two regions that are Tezcatlipoca and Tlazolteotl, help us do this. Tezcatlipoca is the god of all realities. So he is really good at showing us all the possibilities of this house, and also to show you that your mind and your heart are narrow right now, because you've been only building just for building. You've been settling down in this house. You are, well, you think you work a lot, but it's not true. You're lazy. You've been lazy because also you want to pull this house by yourself. Are you crazy? You cannot do this. A house is a place where people live, so everybody should be involved. The only thing is this is like a harvest. If many hands work on this crop, on this harvest, well, the corn belongs also to them. Perhaps you are too selfish because you want the house just for yourself, but guess what? Eventually the house will kill you because it's too big. So you've been narrow, your heart is narrow, your sight is narrow. How couldn't it be narrow if you just see your house? This is where you live. This is the tiny place in the universe where you chose to be. There's a whole world out there, and you just want to see these four walls, this square full of grass and stuff, because this is what happens when you just have a house and you don't turn it into a home, and you don't turn it into a heart that is beating for everybody. So Tlazolteotl help us to shake all the fears and the restrictions and all the obstacles that we put on ourselves to move forward, to construct, to build this tiny empire that is a house. It's a big responsibility, a house. It gives you peace in a way, but it can also be a nightmare if you are trapped in her belly, like Jonah in the whale, right? Like Gia in Kronos. It could be terrifying and also in a way peaceful, like a womb. But even the most comfortable womb, it's there only for just a specific amount of time, because eventually you have to be born or else you will die inside. So what is the birth in a house? The god of the day house is Tepeyolotl, the god that was half a man and half a jaguar. Our animal nature tamed, and our human nature enticed by the animal, so it won't go to sleep forever and it doesn't just settle down, because a beast that is overly fed, that eats 5 times a day, great amount of food, will never feel hungry and lost interest for hunting, and is insipid, like a broth without salt. And no matter how hot it is and how good it smells, it's still insipid. Who would eat an insipid broth? Nobody. You have to be really starving for this. So, okay, if you're really starving for something, then you will go for it. But if you're content and well-fed, you will never go for it. How do we keep the hunger inside of a house that keeps us safe? It's a good question, huh? I guess the best way to keep the hunger is to realize that all the things that we have in this house want to be displayed in such a way that show not only their beauty, but our inner beauty. Sort of like an autobiography displayed there to speak of who we are and the path we've traveled. Just by seeing it, just by seeing all the objects, people will realize the history of our souls. And this is also working in the house. Where else are you going to be? Make your house a museum and then share it. And this is literal, but it's also a metaphor, because for those who don't own a house, the house that we've been given is our bodies. So building our bodies through good food and exercise and taking care of them, they will talk about who we are and how we've lived, and the things that have been important to us, because a well taken care house speaks for itself. So today it's a good day to take the first step towards this place, the good place, the place where you build your house with an objective, not just for getting tired working, exhausting yourself doing something that has no purpose. And also be happy because you can enjoy your house sharing it with the people you love the most. So do it, and it's something delicious that is well seasoned, and whenever you cook, remember that you've been guided by your ancestors, and trust in your memory, because it will come through, and then you will taste something that comes from back then when the seed was planted, the seed of a very good heart. See you next time.